Good afternoon. Welcome to the market close, a bonus market close. I know we had to set a goal to earn this one, and we kind of fell short, but I love doing these market closes. You guys love coming to them, so why the heck not? So we decided let's do it anyway. Let's just do it anyway. We'll have the earnings stuff going back again next week, but for now, we're just going to go with it. One thing I want to do absolutely right off of the top here. Give me 1 second. Bang. There we go. All right. Perfect. I'm just going to gift a membership, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So here it comes. It's coming. Perfect. There we are. So if you look in the chat, you will see that gifted membership. Congratulations, by the way, Harold. Underneath that green rectangle, if you've got another little rectangle and you got this little grayed out thing in the rectangle, basically talking about enabling channel memberships, you want to enable it, because if you don't, you can't win one. And this Sunday will be the first Sunday of June, which means we got free memberships coming on. I will be dropping probably usually around 10. I usually drop around 10 of them. Every single month on the first Sunday of that month. So make sure you got them turned on. So, if you see that gray box and you don't click it, then don't complain if you don't win, because that's just the way the cookie crumbles. All right. So it's funny. I had to change at the last minute. I had to change the light from red to green because we had a red market most of the day. We were pretty deep in the red most of the day. And so I got everything all set up and I got myself all ready. And quite literally, I'm just sitting down here getting ready to go on. And I look at the market again. I'm like, seriously, did you really slip back into the green? And it did. It absolutely did. So that's what we got going on. Okay, we'll hit this, bang, we'll hit this over here, bang, and we got the market. So right now in the market, the TSX is in the green, not by much, 0.23%. The S&P 500 doing the exact same thing, not thring. I don't know what a thring is, but it's coming in at 0.24%. Now the NASDAQ's in the red. The NASDAQ a negative 0.92%. Gold is down by almost a full point. It's 0.78%. Well, now it's 0.80%. Silver's down a whole bunch today, down 2.65%. WTI is down. Bitcoin is down. Well, you can see from I was going to say the Bitcoin again, but you can see by this Bitcoin chart, we had this big drop here today. So that's kind of interesting. Now, here's the funny thing. Last night, because I had appointments this morning, so I was like, I can't be near the market. So what do I think's going to happen? So right about here, I sold my Bitcoin ETFs, and I didn't get back from my appointments this morning till about noon. And that was right when it was at the bottom here. And so then I bought back in. And so now they've been climbing. So I'm like, okay, that worked out really, really well. So I was definitely happy about that. Let's take a look at the heat map here. And holy banana bread. I think we're looking at the all transportation. I was like, where is everybody? Did they all go on the weekend early, turning it into a long weekend? But no, here we go. So it's not looking too bad. We got some red. CIBC really red at 3.09%. Speaking of those banks, the second video of the next week coming up, is going to be my bank review. So that will be, I believe, Friday. Those of you who are channel members, you'll get to see that on Wednesday, sorry, on Thursday. Not 2 days early, but 1 day early. Yeah, but some of the other banks are looking okay. TD's up a full percent. BMO is up. Scotiabank is down, but not by much. Not by much. Both the railroads looking pretty healthy. Look at that. CNR's up 1.5%. Yeah, gotta like that. Oh, here's QSR over here. So Restaurant Brands International up a full 2.24%. Alimentation Couche-Tard, they're up almost, well, not much, 0.04%. Enbridge, it's looking pretty darn good. Let's look at the ETFs over here in Canada. And I think here, I think I've got the, yeah, I had these all turned off last time we were looking at them. But, you know, things are not looking so bad. XUU is up there. I'm just looking at ones that we talk about a lot. Here's cash. That must mean, let me take a look here. If cash is down, that means their ex-dividend date. So this is the thing. So cash here is that all, you know, that all, I was going to say all equity, but it's not. It's a cash ETF. So basically, this is the way cash works. When you buy it, it's usually around 50 if you buy it right away. And look, it goes up through the month and it gets to about, well, in this case, around 19 cents. And you'll see it's very concyclical. And then it falls again. So now that it's down at 15.02, it'll start working its way back up. But this is just a place that you can park your cash if you're not ready to buy. And we're going to talk about that actually in the 0 to 100K challenge. We're going to talk, that's going to be one of the topics in that challenge. So pretty darn cool. All right, let's get out of cash. Let's head south of the border. And we got a little bit of red with Microsoft and Meta and Amazon. Holy banana bread. Tesla's down a little bit. But McDonald's is doing good, up 2.26%. Yeah, it's an interesting market. NVIDIA is down a little bit as well. I think my head is blocking that part. It's, can I move my head? No, I can't move my head. It's a negative negative 0.32% on NVIDIA. But yeah, everything is looking pretty good. We're having a half decent end towards the end of the week. Holy banana bread. And it's still happening. Look over here on the side, guys. We're already, the TSX is now up to 0.65. S&P 500 up to 0.47. So we're climbing. We're on a little bit of a rise to end of the weekend. So that's not too shabby. Whew. And finally, the crypto world, we got Bitcoin down 0.57%. Ethereum looking a little bit better because as we're heading towards them spot Ethereum ETFs, it's up 1.26%. Not too shabby. Solana's down a little bit. XRP's up a little bit. Dogecoin is up a little bit. Let me just move that out of the way. There we go. So yeah, it looks pretty interesting as we know when it comes to crypto. All right. So let's get to you guys. You guys have been exploding in the chat. I am very anxious to get here. All right, let's start with Sammer. Hello, guys. Sammer bought some QQCL, some Alimentation Couche-Tard, some BAM, and some TD. Not too shabby. Prairie says, woohoo, we get a Friday market close live stream. Wasn't the NVIDIA video supposed to reach 607 views to get this one? Love it. Thank you, Candace. Oh, you're welcome. I don't even know what it got to. I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. We'll just go bang, boom. It got to 593. So you guys did more than half. So, it was an idea. It was something to try. Every so often, just to be different, we'll do something a little odd like that. It didn't work, but hey, I was happy. I'm happy with it. I'm glad to be here. So, it's all good. Ian says it was going to buy stocks today, but bought $500 worth of lumber for a fence instead. So, Ian, you're basically telling me you weren't sure if you wanted to buy stocks today because you were obviously sitting on the fence. Oh dear, that was bad, but we'll go with it anyway. Prairie says, was hoping to pick up some CNR and CTC.A, but the price reversed from yesterday. Dropped it into my savings account instead for the time being. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with waiting for a deal. One of the things that you can do is, of course, you can put in those limit cells. Like, you can basically say, okay, if it drops to this amount, I will buy. And you can put a limit in and leave it. And then, if it hits that amount, you bought it. If it didn't, well, then you didn't. All right. And congratulations to Harold, who won a Mountain Finance membership for the month. All right. Ian says, I get every second Friday off. Glad I can make it to the live stream. Awesome. Awesome. We got Enid in the house. Hello, Enid. Good to see you. Prairie says, happy Friday, all. Uh-oh. Nine, you started off with QQCC with a penny. A penny. So, fractional investing over there in Wealthsimple. It's now up to $2. So that's not too shabby. And in reference, of course, to selling that ETF. Yeah, that worked out really, really well. Bleak says, hey. Stan says, happy Friday, all. And we got Kiev and Nakaz saying, hello, gang. And Trevor's in the house with a hi, everyone. Just taking a quick peek at the clock, because we have anybody who's brand new here, we ring this bell when the market closes. We ring it. And last time, I think I broke a few eardrums. I think I did. So maybe we'll try to do that again this time. So we'll see. Jonathan says, made it to the pre-bell again. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. And look at this. Nothing shabby on a Friday. All right. Why videos in the house? Hi, y'all. I just sold my positions in BMY, so Bristol Myers Squibb, and added more Pure Storage. PSTG. Will CVS bounce back? That's a good question. That is a good question. Let's take a look at CVS, actually. Boop-a-doop-boop. We'll bring over here. All right. This is what I love about this, is we can just jump in here and take a look at anything. I'm pretty sure I have. Maybe I don't. That's the Discord. That's the whiteboard. And this is the SEC settlement thing. So by the way, guys, the amount of time your stocks take to settle is now less. So it used to be a T+2, which basically meant that once you bought a stock, between the broker and whoever they're buying it from, they had 2 days to settle it. So 2 business days after that. Well, the market has changed down to 1 business day. So that means anything that you sell, you're going to get your money 1 day faster than how long it used to take. So that's good news for people who do, sell stuff from time to time and want to pull some money out. You'll be able to get it a little bit faster. So this is a change. It's right across all the U.S. exchanges, the Canadian exchanges. So this is a big thing. I don't 100% know if it affects like Australia and Europe. If we got anybody here from Europe and let us know in the comments, because that would be really, really cool to know that for sure. All right. We're about to look at CVS, weren't we? All right. Let's just change this. We'll go into TMX Money, and we will put up a CVS. All right. So CVS, they're a health corporation. The big difference, of course, when you're investing in American health, is you have to realize that they're a for-profit. So it's a bit different, and you can actually make some pretty crazy money sometimes in that market. Let's take a look at them on the 3-year. So yeah, they've definitely had a little bit of a back trace. They had a little bit of a recovery here, but let's see here. Okay, so they don't have a crazy dividend. I'm kind of interested about a couple of little things here in their key data. So the return on equity 11.32, the return on assets 3.49. Now their DE ratio means that they've got a fair amount of debt. They do have a fair amount of debt. They probably are going to bounce back though. This is a pretty big company. It's not like they're going to fade away. So a lot of these stuff too in the States once anybody who has a lot of debt, for one, they've got the higher interest rates just like we have up here. That means it costs a lot more to service those debts. So yeah, will they come back? I think so. Is it going to be anytime fast? Well, it really depends on what happens with them rate cuts in the US. Whether we do get one in 2024. Now, and we'll talk about this after the bell. We're really close to the bell. We'll talk about what's going to happen in the US after the bell because we did have an interesting development today. That's not why the market was red, by the way. The market was red basically for the same fears that we've had before. Oh, I should come back to big screen as I ring this bell. Here we go. I am ready. We're like 15 seconds away from ringing the bell. So it will happen. Now that PSTG that Y Videos was mentioning too, I want to show you guys a look at that one more time because that actually looks pretty interesting. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's time. Woo! Bang, bang, bang. Market's closed. All right. My ears are still ringing. There we go. Fantastic. I did want to take a look quickly at PSTG2 here. All right. PSTG. So here we go. Pure storage. So take a look at this. This has been a kind of an interesting little an interesting stock. We'll look at it over the 3-year, but look at this. This has been fantastic growth. We've been getting some really good some movement on this stock, and I'll just pull it down here. So this one here does not have a dividend, so we're looking at a pure growth stock on this one. And if we go into the key data and just take a look at a couple little things here. So the return on equity, it is still pretty low at 5.55%. Return on assets is low, but they don't have a ton of debt, which is a good thing. They've been moving in the right direction. So I've been a little bit bullish on this company since I have seen it. So it's definitely something. If you're looking for an American company, especially for an American growth company, throw this on your watch list. See what happens. I think it's going to be kind of cool. All right, we're going to jump ahead very quickly and say thank you very much to Y Videos for the super sticker. And that's like a 99-cent one. I actually have to look over here to see what it is. It's the shades. I wear my sunglasses at night. Corey Hartsong, if any of you guys remember that, that's going way back, the Wayback Machine. But thank you once again for Y Videos. You absolutely rock. What more can I say? All right, now we got Mary Finn in the house. Congratulations. I was going to say to Mary, Mary makes me think about the like button. So if you have not yet hit that little like button, turning it blue, now's the time to do it. And while you guys are hitting the like button, I'm going to have some Starbucks. Ooh, this is so good. There we go. There we go. Of course, that always makes me think about that Star Wars. I was going to say the Starbucks ad bot that we had in here this one time. It was either Starbucks or it was maybe one of you guys, but that's okay. That's okay. It was a fun afternoon when that was happening. And yeah, here we go. Hit the like button, people. We got Patricia in the house. Hello. You're welcome. And ding, ding. Absolutely. Ian says, do your cats freak out when you ring the bell? Actually, no. No, like the kitten, I think she left. She was up there, but I think she left, but not because of the bell. Not because of the bell. Enid says, wow, that was a big fat bell. That was like, I was sort of channeling my best Christopher Walken, more cowbell, more cowbell. So we tried. All right, holy banana breads. Y Videos just gifted a membership, and Brad Meisner, you have won. Congratulations, and thank you, Y Videos. You're rocking it. You're absolutely rocking it. 9 is saying massive donation. Yeah, absolutely. That was fantastic. That was really good. I mean, yeah, because whoever was doing the Starbucks thing, I mean, every time I drank from my Starbucks cup that day, they were super stickering it. And that added up a little bit. So I'm hugely appreciative of that person. And it's funny. I tried to figure out who it was because I'm thinking, okay, it's probably not really Starbucks. But every time I think I know who it is, something happens and I'm like, no, no, it's probably not them. And so I'm assuming you all are my secret Starbucks sticker person. So we'll go with that for the moment. Let's see your thoughts on NVIDIA. I love NVIDIA. I do love NVIDIA. So here was the thing. One of the reasons I had actually chose for the whole earning of the bonus this week, the reason I chose that NVIDIA video, that deep dive I did back in February, was because I was at that point sort of defending NVIDIA and saying, hey, NVIDIA is they're not going anywhere. They're not going to fall. The AI bubble's not about to burst. And that's kind of was a part of the theme of that video. And, now here we are, one more earnings, and NVIDIA has done better than you could even imagine. It's now at the point, though, that this is crazy. NVIDIA, if you have a company, an AI company, and NVIDIA mentions your name, you're pretty much going to get a giant boost in your share price. It's sort of like, if you think about it, back when Elon Musk used to talk about Dogecoin, now NVIDIA, all they have to do is mention you. NVIDIA gives you a call out, your share price is going up. So it's a little crazy. It is a little crazy. I'm still bullish on them though. I think the 10-to-1 split, hugely good idea. I think that is going to make them much more approachable for a lot of people, especially people who don't have fractional investing. And it also makes them a much easier target for options as well. So I think that will be fantastic. Prairie says, congratulations, Brad. Jonathan says, I like big bells and I cannot lie. Okay, there we go. GID says, when one takes out money from an RRSP, is all of it taxed or only contributions? All of it is taxed, because when you put money into your RRSP, you are not being taxed on that money. So if you were to contribute, let's say $1,000 in one tax year, you have that $1,000 that you can take out of your income. So it basically will not get taxed. So you're deferring the entire amount. So when you do take money out of your RRSP, 100% of it is taxable. 100%. No ands, ifs, or buts. But I say no ands, ifs, or buts, and then I go but. Yeah, okay. What you can do, though, is in some situations, like if you have a year where you make nothing, well, there's so much that you can make before they will tax you, and that it's a little different depending on the province. I was going to say the project, depending on the province. So Nova Scotia, it's the worst. They will tax you to death as quickly as they can, whereas it's a lot better in like Ontario and the other provinces. So you can make a certain amount before they will. So if you have a year where you don't make any money, even if you don't need that money in your RRSP, pull it out to the point that to wherever your tax levels start. And there's a lot of websites you can find that out on. I have a video as well with it in it. So was it? Well, I don't know if it was it was in the RRSP meltdown video. I have some charts in there for you, and also some links that you can use to get to that site. Why videos? Is just laughing at Jonathan's Big Bells comments. All right, and there's Brad. Hello, Brad. Congratulations. You won. That's fantastic. 9 says all taxes income for RRSP withdrawal. Exactly. Brad is appreciative of Why Videos for gifting that very generous membership. And GID, thanks. Now, keep in mind, and this, Brad, if you've never been a channel member before, that means you have access to all the past content for channel members. So if there is a video in there that you're liking, or that, or one of the ones that you've been sort of like, oh, I kind of wanted to see that one, you can now go back and watch all of them. So that's fantastic. You're also going to get to watch new videos one day early. So, like today's video that came out at 2 o'clock Eastern, you could have seen that yesterday at 2 o'clock Eastern. I think, normally sometimes it's even a little bit early. As soon as I'm finished and ready, it's up for the channel members. All right. Yeah, excuse me. 9 says, but if you make less than around 15K, depending on the provinces, you can withdraw the RRS money for tax-free. Exactly. And that's the thing. You have to look at the provinces. Nova Scotia is the one that starts hitting you the earliest. And I've said this. I called out the premier of Nova Scotia there, Mr. Houston, and I was like, "Come on, you can do better. You can do better. Let's give people a break. Give them a break. Don't be so greedy." All right. GID says, yeah, so they get to tax both the contributions and the gains. Yeah, exactly. So anything that you put in there is going to be, and that's one of the reasons. So you know how you can't day trade in your TFSA. They don't mind if you day trade in your in your RRSP at all. In fact, they're cheering for you to do well in your RRSP because they're going to get all that taxes. Whereas, it's just the way it works. It's the way it works. So, and it makes sense. It's actually very logical, and that I do appreciate. Y Video says, when will you make your open close live? Oh, when you will make your open close live? It should be a national holiday. I know. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I'll tell you. We actually picked up about I think about 70 subs from from the leveraged ETF video. So that did really well. So we're closer now. We are closer. So right now, I'll tell you guys where we're at. We're sitting at 3773, so 227 away. So now the pressure's on me. I got to start making better videos to get some more folks in. So that'll be fun. We'll do that. We'll do that for sure. All right. Prairie says, any thoughts on putting OTEX back into the 0 to 199? There's thoughts. I don't know if I'm going to or not. It really just depends on right now, because where I'm doing that little side challenge with the two tech ETFs. That kind of is eating up a lot of my tech space. So I don't know if I have the bandwidth to bring them back in, but I might. I'm still overall bullish on OTEX. So it could happen. It could happen. Now, I did also add, and this was going to be a surprise in the video, but Vic mentioned it to everybody anyway. I did add a US ticker this time around. It's actually an AI ETF from south of the border. So they're also eating into that tech sector. So, but we'll take a look. We'll take a look. And Patricia says, don't forget, Quebec is bad for taxation. Yes, Quebec has some of the, it's kind of funny. Like when you look at a city like Montreal, they have some of the, they have some of the lower wages, but they also have some of the higher, or not, I don't want to say wages. They have some of the lower property values. You can actually buy houses a lot cheaper, but they do have some of the higher taxes, property taxes and other taxes. So yeah, Quebec's not the best ideal place if you don't like taxes. In a way, though, the whole country is kind of like that. The whole country is not that tax friendly. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's so good. All right. Jonathan says, picked up Salesforce stock after the big drop. Yes, Salesforce had a considerable drop. So that may not be a bad move. That may not be a bad move at all. 9 says, government also wants you to die with a big RRIF. Oh, they sure do. They sure do. And that, going back, of course, to that RRSP meltdown video, that's where they get you. Because if you die and you got a really big RRIF, they're happy as heck, because they're going to tax that whole thing at your marginal tax rate. So there is one exception. Basically, you need to have your spouse needs to be around. But here's the thing: if you and your spouse are both up there, you're both, let's say you both just hit around 90, and you got tons in your RRIF, and then you pass on and you give it over to your spouse. Even though that exception, they're still going to get it when she passes or he passes, whichever. It's one of those things. That's why, and that's part of the whole idea of the meltdown, is trying to utilize it so that way if you have a ton of money left over when you're, when you run out of quarters, then you're going to be at that point where you're going to have your money in more tax efficient things for leaving it behind to, whoever your beneficiary is. All right. Andy is back in the house. Hello, Andy. And Andy says, today I added a bit more of Amazon and Palantir. Okay, perfect. Now, Andy, you're from Europe. Here was a question earlier. Now, they changed, at least in North America, they changed the amount of the settlement time from a T+2 to a T+1, meaning that basically 1 day less time to settle. Do you know if that is also the case in Europe? That would be interesting to know. I'm going to assume, I'm thinking it's probably going to be on the world side, but I don't actually know. I only know that it's in North America. So if you do know, Andy, let me know. Enid says, bought Salesforce yesterday and sold it today for a quick buck. Ooh, Enid, you're doing a little bit of swing trading. Nice move. Why Videos is agreeing. Good call, Enid. And GID, come on, Windows. Keep marrying younger people in a chain. Don't get taxed. Oh, widows. Sorry. I thought you said Windows. At first I'm thinking, what does Microsoft have to do with this? All right. Come on, widows. Keep marrying younger people in a chain. Don't get taxed. And that can happen. Like with the TFSA, you can roll it over to your spouse. So if you have a much younger spouse, you can roll that TFSA over to them, and all of a sudden they've got a lot more. Now, they don't get your contribution room. They only get what you have in it, and that gets added into theirs, and it doesn't impact their contribution room. But, it's pretty easy with a TFSA. And, theoretically, and I think we've mentioned this before, if you kept marrying, if you kept up a marrying chain, so, always keep one of the people younger, you could really, really, really continue to roll that and really turn it into something huge. So it would be very interesting to see in theory. In theory, it works, but it would be interesting to actually see somebody pull it off. Bismarcky says, happy Friday, y'all. Hello, Bismarcky. Oh, we still haven't taken our final look at the markets. I got caught up in the chat because you guys are just awesome. Andy says, I heard about it, but not sure if it is in place. Oh, here's Sammer jumping in saying T+1 in Europe as well. There we go. So it's probably a worldwide thing. N says, not gold digger, TFSA digger. There we go. That's fantastic. All right, let's take our final look at the market. We're going to pull that up. Oh, let's get rid of the double me, and we'll head on over here. So we actually finished quite respectable. TSX nice in the green at 0.89%. S&P 500 0.8%. NASDAQ did finish, well, that's kind of flat. It's basically negative 0.01%. So, they could still slip back to the green in after hours trading. Gold a little bit down. Silver a lot more down, 2.49%. Oil's down a little bit, and Bitcoin is down. And here's our meat map. Oh God. Here is our heat map, not meat, heat. Holy cow. This is going to be one that I'm just going to laugh about all night. I'll be thinking about a couple of crazy things I might have said. Look at this. So this is Dollarama today. That's a nice little spike. They've been doing well. They've certainly been doing well. That's not too shabby at all. So, yeah, congratulations to anybody holding Dollarama. I'll explain that in a second, Enid. I just saw the thing there. Here's Nutrien. Nutrien also doing okay. The railroads, they did pull, both of them pulled up above 2%, like that. So CNR, CP, both looking fantastic. BNS did manage to get back into the positive, so that is pretty darn good. Alimentation Couche-Tard looking good. Enbridge looking good. All right, look at our ETF heat map once again. There's good old VFV up in the positive and VCN up in the positive. XUS VEQT, our Vanguard all equity looking fantastic. Well, it's only up 0.35%, but hey, to me, that's fantastic. It's like, all right, we'll give them that. Okay, and the US heat map. Whoops. Yep, there we are. We are there. Yeah, Microsoft finished above in the positive 0.11. Google did okay. Meta just down a little bit. Amazon, though, down a whole 1.61%. So not so great for Amazon. Nvidia was down a tiny bit, 0.78% down. Apple on the upside. Tesla down. Oh dear. Well, what can you say? That is normal for Tesla. And over to crypto once again. So Bitcoin still down, Ethereum looking good. It's the same old thing, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens next with our good old buddy Bitcoin. All right, we'll just pull back up to Big Me. So what is T1? So T1 is so when you sell a stock, basically it has to settle. And it kind of goes back into the past. So back in the olden days, when, like we're talking really old, like early 1900 type things, when you used to buy a stock, you would buy it and then they would actually have to, move things back and forth with, horse and buggy and everything. And it would take about 3 days. And that's just something that kind of got inherited into the market. Even in this world, when things should be able to move a lot faster, we're still taking roughly 3 days. Now, they were calling that T+2 because day one is you selling it, and then there's plus 2 business days after you selling it. So if you count the day that you sold it, it's 3 days. That's where the 3 days comes from. So that comes into a factor. So for example, at the end of the year, if you're tax loss harvesting, you want to always stop that 3 days before 3 business days before the end of the year, because of that T+2. But now it's been changed to T+1, meaning that it will take 1 less day. So the day that you purchase it, it will take them an additional business day to settle it. So if it took 3 days in the past, it'll take 2 days now, which means you can do tax loss harvesting for 1 extra day at the end of the year. So that's kind of cool. That's basically what it means. All right. Sammer says European regulators are considering their own move to T+1 or even a T+0 settlement. Just Google. Okay, there we go. I would love to see. There's no reason why we shouldn't have T+0. Because look at it this way. It's kind of one of those things like if you need money and you've got it all tied up in stocks, with the T+2, it's like, if you need the money now, you're still going to have to wait probably 3 days before you can even get it. And then hope that it doesn't take much longer for them to transfer at that point, because some brokers are a little slow like that. But now that'll at least shave a little bit of time off, which is kind of fantastic. So, you can get your money a little bit faster. All right. So Y Video says, wow, it finished green. I know. It's like I quite literally just before the little countdown thing came up, I had to turn and tell a certain person whose name starts with A to turn that light to green, because it was red. It was red. I was totally like, even if you look at the thumbnail, I've got the bear in the thumbnail, which I do on red days. So so technically the bull should have showed in, but it was too late. It was just too late to make the changes. All right. Sammer says T+1 settlement, meaning trades are settled 1 day after execution. Basically, yes. Within 1 day. So, and the way it probably would work is it'll get, let's say you trade on Monday. So by Tuesday at close, that's probably when they'll settle it. So then you still won't have it the next day. You're going to have it the following day on the Wednesday. Then those funds will be, now, if you're, of course, when you're buying and selling within your broker, they don't care about that so much. They'll let you buy and sell right away. So you're fine. But, on the back end, that's when you have all of that settlement stuff happening. So if you ever take a look, actually, give me a second here. Let me, I'm just going to pull something over here. I need to log in. All right. All right. So we're going to log in here. And we're going to actually go into, here we go. Oops, I need to bring this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. So this is National Bank. This here is the 0 to 100K challenge. So what we're going to do, though, is we're actually going to look at the history. All right, so these here are all of these different things. So what you'll see here is this is the trade date. This is the settlement date. So you can see here, I bought 4 shares of divs of DIV on the 27th, then it settled on the 28th. So it looks to me like that already happened here. If we go further back, actually they've been moving really fast here. I'm looking here, 13, sorry. Okay, back here at this point, look at this with the Ryokan. I had bought 2 shares of Ryokan. And you can see I bought them on the 13th. They settled on the 15th. So that was the +2. And you can see up here that everything else is mostly +1. Now, things that are the same here, that's because that's a dividend coming in or interest or, but it's just with the way it buys. So when you're looking at it, like I said, so this one here, so DRX, when I purchased DRX Group, now you guys know another one of the new ones in the 0 to 100K. I purchased them on the 21st. They settled on the 23rd. So, it's kind of one of those things. But that's kind of how it works in the back end. All right. Let's do this. There's one other thing I did want to show you guys. This is kind of a cool thing here. Give me a second here. Let's go USD TFSA. And we're going to go to holdings. So this is something I really love in here. So this here is that AIQ. That is the Global X in Artificial Intelligence ETF. So it's a US one. So right now it's sitting in USD. So the average cost is 34.37. Now, when I'm using it in the challenge, I want all my currencies to match. So all I have to do in here is I just go and drop, bang, and now it's in Canadian. So I can actually use the data without having to build a function within the Excel sheet to change it. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, just something I wanted to show you. There we go. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. We'll bring ourselves back up big screen. All right. Enid says, thank you for your explanation. Very clear now. You're welcome. And thank you from Andy. GID, does T+1 mean you get it the day after it sells or the next day? Basically the next day. So, if it sells on the 1st, it'll settle on the 2nd. You'll probably see it on the 3rd. So 2 days from when you sell, where in the past, it used to be 3 days. Now, once again, though, as you notice, when I was going back to when it was still T+2, there were a few of them that settled pretty fast. And that can certainly happen. It might be stock specific. It might also just depend on how fast they moved or, how quickly they executed a batch if they had a whole bunch of them. So just something to keep in mind. Let's see. 9 says, oh, good. I did some buys in the red today. Nice. And Andy says, EU is not the best place to invest, and every country has its own ideas. Okay, fair enough. And 9 says, I only invest in EU through index and all equity ETFs. Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that. It also depends on your broker. Like there are some brokers here that you can definitely access the UK market and the Europe market pretty easily. But there are some brokers that don't have access. I'm not 100% sure with Wealthsimple. I'd have to actually look. But yeah, one of those things. Enid is coming in and saying, smash that like button, guys. Yeah, do it. If you haven't done it yet, hit the like button, turn it blue. And here, I'm going to give you guys a reward for hitting that like button because I know you're doing it. I know everybody who hasn't hit the like button yet has just hit it. So that's fantastic. Here we go. And this is for you guys, or for at least one of you. Bang, boom. It should be processing. All right. And here you go. This is for hitting the like button. GID. There we go. I love it. GID, you are very active in the chat. So I can't think of, I can think of a lot of people who are well deserving, but you're definitely one in that list. So congratulations. All right. Andy says, yeah, I also do that, but I also like individual stocks. Yeah. Individual stocks, I think, are fantastic. I mean, that's kind of my bread and butter, right? It's not really like, the channel is mostly stocks, but we do ETFs. We do one ETF deep dive every month. So that's always fun. And Ian says, talk to Wealthsimple today. They are doing a 1% match for June if you move a managed account over to them. Okay, that's not too shabby. Now, do they have an upper limit? That's what I'm kind of curious about. Why videos? Some EU companies are available as ADR like Shell. Okay, fantastic, kind of cool. Now, let's see here. Why video says, congratulations, Gid. Congratulations, Gid. Oh, this is fantastic. We're all congratulating Gid, and there's Gid. Finally, Gid has spoken up. Yay! That's fantastic. I did want to mention, so we had, let me pull this up. Let's, here we go. I'm going to bring up, whoops, we'll get over to this one. All right, so this is a fantastic little thing in here. I'm going to pull up my reports, and we're going to go U.S. calendar. So we're going to pull up the U.S. calendar. No, I don't want to subscribe. All right. So let me see. Oh, that's next week. I want this week. All right. Here we go. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Here we go. All right. So the PCE. So the PCE is your personal consumers expenditures. Now, what's nice about this is something that the Fed in the States, they put a lot of weight behind this one when it comes to how they're evaluating how inflation is going. So if you take a look at this, and I guess you can't really see here, but I'll show you the scale up top. So your actual is here, and your basically your median forecast. So we'll put it there. I think we should have some data in here for it. Did they put it in here yet? Yeah, they did. So in this case here, they were, here we go. Here's our PCE. Which one am I looking at? This is the one I was kind of looking at, the personal income. Yeah, there we go. And consumer spending. So a lot of this stuff came in. So they were looking at like 0.4 coming in at 0.2, 0.3, 0.3, but it actually did look okay. So the PCE overall, it showed inflation was slowing a little bit, a wee bit. So this is good. It's kind of created a tiny bit of more hope in at least in investors that maybe, just maybe, the U.S. might have a rate cut in 2024, because this is at least positive. So what we need now is we need their next CPI to start looking a little better. And I don't know if I have their next CPI up here. Is it this week coming up? I don't think it is. Nope. A lot of jobs data. Here it is over here. So 12th. So on the 12th, that's when we're going to get the next CPI. So there's core CPI, regular CPI. So on the 12th, that'll be really telling. If we start to see some improvement, and the stickiness of inflation has finally abated a little bit, then we're probably looking at a rate cut before the end of the year. If, however, this one comes in looking like a dog's breakfast, like the last few, then, oh dear, then we're in trouble. But that's part of the reason that the market's been all kind of crazy. So when it comes to Canada, at least on the Canadian side, people are still worried about what's going to happen if we start to cut rates sooner. And it's really starting to look like I flip-flopped to July, and I'm probably wrong. And now most analysts are saying there's a 75% chance that we're going to get our first rate cut on June 5th. So coming up this week. I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right that I'm wrong, if that makes sense. I hope I'm wrong. But it looks like that's going to happen. Now, what the big reason behind that is, well, we had some data that popped out here in Canada today. I don't know if I have it in here. Let's take a look and see. Boop-a-doo-doo-doo. I need to go to Canada. That's the US. So here, let's go to the Canada calendar. All right. Friday. Here we go. GDP. All right. So let's see here. Here's our month over month. I'm not worried about that. But here's our quarter over quarter. So they were forecasting it to come in at 0.6%. It came in at 0.4% quarter over quarter. So basically, that means that our GDP is showing more weakness in the economy than what they were thinking. The Bank of Canada is going to love this, because this gives us more proof that the rate cuts have absolutely been crippling on the economy, which of course is bad for inflation. So this here data is really, really, really going to be interesting. So when we look here, so you look at the forecast. So this was their big forecast for the whole GDP itself. So they were forecasting 2.3% for Q1. It came in at 1.7%. So it came in flat. Now, what this doesn't show is with March's month over month, they actually revised that and it basically pretty much made it completely flat. So the tiny bit of growth that we saw in March, that got kind of whittled away. It's like gone. So as a result, our economy is looking like it's riding a snail, and that's good if you're looking for those rate cuts. This GDP report that came out today, what it did is that it basically proved that that things are just tough looking. It proved that things are working, that things are slowing down, and it for analysts before this report came out, they were thinking a 66% chance of that rate cut on June 5th. This took that 66% and drove it up to 75%. So it's really, really looking. Now, if it doesn't happen, I'm going to look like a genius for flip-flopping, but I'm still hoping I'm wrong. I'm still hoping I am wrong. Okay, let's get back to the chatteronies. Okay. And let's see. Ian says, I'll call Wealthsimple to register for the 1% reward in June and move $30K from RBC to Wealthsimple. Ooh, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. Ian says, Enid, maybe if you say you heard it from me, I will get a kickback. There we go. That could happen. 9 says, dividends start rolling in for me next week. Nice. You got to love dividends. Yeah, I think I've got some dividends coming in next week as well. My big batch of dividends is right at the middle of the month, though, of course. All right. Now, GID says, could you please show what National Bank Direct Brokerage has for swing trading? Are there trading fees? Does it show ask bid? Okay. Sure. Let me see. I'll show you what I can because right now with the market closed, there's not a lot I can actually do. All right. However, sorry, I felt like there was a sneeze coming on, but it didn't happen. Here we go. Okay, so let's say, for example, pretend I'm going to be swing trading this AIQ. So one of the things I have is when I go to sell it, I do get this interface that comes up and I get my bid ask. So right now, bid is 32.66. Ask is 33.46. So what this here means is if I sell it, I'm going to get probably $32.66. If I were to buy it, I'm going to have to buy it at $33.46. So this is quite a wide bid-ask spread. And part of it is because we're after hours. Sometimes after hours, I find the spreads get a little bit wonky. Once the market's open, they do tend to get a little bit closer. So here's the beautiful thing too, is I can refresh it like that. So when I'm in here, so let's say, for example, I want to sell this at 32.66. Or let's say I don't want to sell it at 32.66. Because I'm swing trading, maybe I want to sell it at, I might put in a limit buy like this. So hit my limit buy and I'll say, okay, well, I want to sell it, but I want to sell it at 32.60. So I can put in my 32.60 and then good for the day, or I can set in a specific date. Like if I want to put this on for longer, I can definitely do that. Now there's also all or nothing. What that means is if I put it up for 32.60 and let's say it just hits 32.60, but then it goes back up. Well, if I had 100 shares, I might only sell 25. So I might be saying, no, I want to sell all of it. It's all or nothing. So I can choose that as well. And that prevents it from getting split up. And some people will do that because of their accounting. They don't want to have to sort of try to figure out, the way things have worked, especially if it's a situation where you sell half and then you put the other half back up and, you want to make your accounting simple. So that's one reason people might actually use that. And it's the same idea. Like if you're going to buy, you would just go up here to buy. Now, if you're going to buy something you already own, you just would click on buy and it will bring it up for you. But yeah, you can buy anything that you want to buy. So for example, let's say I wanted to buy, well, we'll go with BT, whoops. So if I was trading BTCC.B, it'll bring it up and I'll say, okay, well, how many am I planning to buy? Let's say I was buying 1,000. And at that point here, I'll take a look here. And this, once again, I can choose, same idea. I can put in a limit buy once again. And let's say I don't want to pay more than 13. So I might put in that 13. If it drops down, I'll buy it at 13. Now, normally, these are within a penny of each other. But once again, we're after hours, so things are a little bit wonky. And so I can do my limit price. Or if I'm here and I'm actively doing it, I'm still going to put in that limit price, and I'll tell you why. So let's say I'm happy with it right now, and let's say 1327 is fantastic. I might put in my 1327. The reason is because if I hit this refresh, and I'm not going to do it right now because I don't have the money in the account anyway to buy 1,000 of these. When I hit that, not the refresh, but when I hit that submit, it takes it takes about 10 seconds. In that 10 seconds, if this price all of a sudden exploded up to 1330, all of a sudden I'm paying 1330. Whereas if I put this in, I will grab the 1327, and even if it goes up to 1330, it might fall right back down to 1327 a moment later, but that'll make sure that I get it at that price and not accidentally pay more. And the big thing is when I'm selling, like for example, if I bought it at 1327, and let's just say I was happy, I just wanted to make 10 bucks. So I was going to sell it at 1326. Well, if I don't put in that limit price, now this is on a buy, so I should change this to a sell. Let's just change that to a sell. There we go. So if I don't put in that limit price on the sell, let's say say it did drop down to 1326, I could hit submit and it could actually drop back up to 1327, and all of a sudden I didn't do anything. I just bought it for 1327 and sold it for 1327. So by using that limit price, it prevents little accidents like that to happen on the market. Now, when we get to 4,000 subs and we're doing that, we're doing that open to close, I'll show you more. I'll show you more in a live environment, as well. So that'll be kind of cool. All right, let's remove that. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. All right, we're coming up to an hour. Guys, throw in your questions. Throw in your questions. We'll go for a little bit more. I'll have some coffee while you guys throw in a question or two. Oh, that was so good. So this is very similar to Wealthsimple. Are there fees? No. There are no fees on National Bank. So the only fee that they do have is there's an annualized fee. But if you're maintaining a balance above, I believe it's 20K, then you don't pay that fee. So it's kind of one of those. So yeah, if you are under, and I don't even know how much the fee is, to be honest. But if you're less than 20,000, there is a fee, an annual fee that you would pay. But if you've got more than 20K, everything is free over there. You've got commission-free trading. You can trade as much as you want. And if you're a day trader, you can easily do thousands of trades in a year. So you really want those to be commission free. And that's the thing. If you're paying a commission, right, all of a sudden when you're looking at them, the bid ask, if you buy it at 11, let's say you buy it at $13, well, you can't then sell it at $12.99 because you have to cover the commission as well. So you might end up having to sell it at, let's say, $12.90 or something like that. You couldn't just do a 1 tick or a 2 tick or a 3 tick. Now, when I say a tick, that is like if it's $13, $13.99 is 1 tick, $13.98 is 2 ticks. So when you are if you have a lot of money to trade with, each time you tick. So in the example we just did, where we were looking at 1,000, every single tick is $10 a profit. So if you were to buy it at 13 and it fell down to 13.90, and then you were to, so you sold it at 13, you bought it at 13.90. I mean, that's 10 ticks, right? So 10 times 10. So that's $100 just right there, that a potential profit that you have there, depending on how you do it. Now, I do the inverse method. So when I am, let's go to the whiteboard for this. We haven't done the whiteboard yet today. So let's take a look here. I got to bring you guys over. All right. So the way I trade is I'm going to use, we'll just use this here. Let's say, for example, we were looking at that $13, and let's say I bought 1,000 shares. All right. So there's two ways you could do that. You could, there we go. With that amount, what you could do is you could, some people will do it this way, $13, and then they will sell it at 13. They'll sell it higher. So, and that makes sense. That makes sense. So I will sell it higher. So for example, if it goes up, and I'll put this in here, let's say it goes up to 13.05, and I'll just put the 1,000 after it for 1,000 shares. So I will sell it, I'll sell it at the 13.05, but I'm not going to take that $50 of profit. To me, there's no profit there because I'm doing it inverse. So when it falls, so maybe I'll sell it up here. So let's just put in, let's say I sell. If it were to then fall, and let's say it fell to $12.95, so we had a little bit of a crash. Well, I'm going to then buy that 1,000 back. So that's cool. But what that means is that I now have left over basically, if you're looking at $10 a shot, I've now got $100 extra. So I'll just put here plus 100. So I'm taking it when I go down, opposed to when I go up. So then my next goal is I'm sitting on that extra 100. Let's say we go back up to 13. All right, so we go back up to 13. I then sell. All right, we fall back down to $12.95 again. I buy back. And at that point, I've now got $150 extra. Same number of shares. I still have 1,000 shares, but I've got all of this, I got this extra money. So you got a couple of things. You have a couple of things that you can do. You can either, if you don't want the money, you want the money, but if you don't need the money, you can buy more shares. You could always up that 1,000 and say, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to buy another $150 worth of shares. But if you're doing this for income, in this case, this is where I would pull that 150 and say, okay, that's going to the credit cards. I still got the same number of shares. I'll ride it up and I'll just keep rinsing and repeating this with this asset. And that way there I make money. And then but here's the big thing. I make a rule. So if, let's say I buy back in at $12.95 and let's say it falls down to, it just crashes on me. I go have lunch. I come back and it's like $12.80. At that point, I'm locked out of that one. I'm going to wait, right? Because, the fact that I'm using Bitcoin ETFs, I know it's going back up. I'll probably just wait. And then it will come back up and I will have an opportunity to sell. Or if it doesn't wait, if it's like all of a sudden it's continually crashing, in a case like that, I could sell there and then buy back down here. Let's say if it is continually crashing and it goes down to 12.70. Well, at that point, because I made that move, I still have my 1,000, but now I've got $250 extra. So I know this is going to come back up. So I will play it. I'll play with the momentum, whichever way it's going. Anyway, that's just a little something to throw in there. Now I do want to, let's go big screen here. I want to jump ahead. We get a super chat. From Bence Feminger, $2. Love Dollarama today. Near at the end, it jumped. Oh my gosh. Yes. Did you guys see that? That was like absolutely cool. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a quick gander at that jump because that was so cool. Look at this. Dollarama up 4.23%, and it all happened here in the end. We can even zoom in a little bit here. So there we go. That's a nice little jump from 123 to 129. That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope you made some money on that, Benz. And thanks once again for that super sticker. That's fantastic. And just so you guys know, these supers, they go into the 0 to 100K challenge. So between Bents and Y, that's $2.99 going over. I round it to 3 because I'm not moving 99 cents. $3 going into the challenge that'll be added in. That's absolutely cool. All right, let's get back to Big Head Me, and we get back to where we were. Here we are. All right, Ian says, are you going to post the whole day live stream up so I can watch it afterwards? I will probably be working that day. I will absolutely. So I did check to see, because this is going to be about an 8-hour stream. So yes, you can repost an 8-hour stream. So it will be up there forever. So a year from now, or a year after we do it, if you still want to watch it, it'll be there. It'll be there. All right. And Tim Jones says, other than TFSA, RRSP, and any other ways to minimize tax on dividends, feels like half my dividends are owed in tax. Okay. There are some other things that you can do. So, for example, if you have kids and you're planning to put them up for education, you've got the RESP. If you have a child, for example, who has a disability, you've got the RDSP. So those are a couple of other things that you can certainly use. But outside of those registered, there's really not an easy way. What I usually say is look at management. So if your TFSA is full and you have found a new stock that you love and it has a really high dividend, you might want to consider selling one in your TFSA that has a low dividend and replace it. So sell the low dividend one, rebuy the high dividend one, then buy the low dividend one outside in your regular account, just as a way to kind of balance things out, to try to make sure that your highest dividends are in one of your registered accounts, opposed to sitting outside in a personal account where you're basically paying as much. The other thing too is, if you have to have dividends outside, try your best to make sure that they are eligible dividends. So if they're eligible dividends, at least then you'll get the full amount of the tax rebate for that. Whereas if you have ineligible dividends, you're going to pay, well, you're going to pay on them as though they're income. So that's never a good thing. GID says, can you draw support lines and get notified with NBDB? That I don't know, because I kind of manually do this on my own. Like when I'm doing it, I will use my own. I'm using TradingView, and I can do all of my support lines and things like that. I will have to look into that, GID. I'll have to look into that. I haven't really played with that. So I'm pretty sure there's alerts in there, but I haven't played with it. So let me play with it. Ask me the next time we do this, and I'll have a better answer for you. Why videos? What are your favorite tech stocks these times? US and or Canadian. All right. Favorite tech stocks. Holy cow. Right now, NVIDIA, I do love NVIDIA. I'm not gonna, I'm not jumping on the wagon, because I jumped on the wagon a long time ago with NVIDIA. I do love them. I think they are positioned right now right now they don't have any competition. You could say, well, wait a minute. There's other chip companies there, but none of them are making chips that will really work with AI and the demands. So right now they've kind of got a monopoly on that. So that is really good for them. From Canada wise, if you're thinking, oh my God, I want to make a little bit of money, maybe if you don't want to dabble in the US and you want a little piece of that NVIDIA action, you could always look at a CDR. So I think in one count I had a little bit of money, a little bit less than the amount of NVIDIA. And I just threw it into NVIDIA CDRs, and it's up quite a bit. So you can make money that way too. So there is ways to do it. Other companies that I'm big on in the US is I do like Microsoft. They're, tried, tested. They've been there for a long time. I should mention Google, because they own YouTube, and since they pay me AdSense, I should say Google. But I'm more bullish on Microsoft and NVIDIA over them. Canada-wise, Now, Canada is really, really interesting. Like, I do like OTEX, and I know that they had a little bit of issues, and they've come down, which makes, I kind of, it's fun. People look at it and they're like, Candace, why are you always getting out of something just before it falls? Like, how do you know that's going to happen? I honestly didn't know that that was going to happen to OTEX. It may make me look like I know what I'm doing, but in that case, I did not see that coming, that they were going to have that little bit of a retracement. But I'm still pretty bullish on them. Of course, there's Constellation Software. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I would love to see a stock split to make their shares a little bit more affordable for people who don't have fractional investing. So those are just a few that I can think of off the top of my mind. That's always, of course, always possibly ready to change as soon as new information and new data comes along. But I would love to see more in the Canadian tech sector. So, there's topicus.com. That's another one too that I've been looking at that, and I'm kind of pretty cool on that one. Ian says, everything jumped at the end of the day. Any idea why? We're heading into June, and June is just a month where everything is green. That's my best guess. No, I was actually surprised. Like, I didn't think that we were going to recover. I thought people were still a little bit too panicky over a whole bunch of different things, Canadian yields. I think people were just a little bit crazy over all of this. All right. GID, Friday paychecks. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Nothing wrong with a Friday paycheck. Y videos in once again with another super sticker. $1.99, and I gotta go look at it. Oh, it's the thanks sticker. Awesome. I gotta love it. I love it. You guys have all been awesome today. Thus far, we've got we got 2 super stickers from Y videos. We got that awesome little super chat from Bence. Fantastic. You guys rock. So that's now, there we go. 2, 4. That's now $5 moving over to the thing. So fantastic. You guys just absolutely rock. All right. GID says, do you have a trading view video on how to do that? I do not, but here's the thing. That's probably something we can do on when we do the open to close. I would love to, because I've got to fill it with content. So I could definitely go and do sort of a tutorial on trading view on that big video. Absolutely. And even afterwards, I could always clip that and turn it into its own separate video. But that's one of those things. So yeah, if there's things you want to know how to do in trading view, I can certainly show you. Like I said, that's going to be a long day. We'll have a lot of fun. LMN. Well, let's take a look at LMN. Let me pull everything back up here. All right, LMN. So that's what Lumen Group. There we are. So they're on the TSXV. So they basically are on a sort of like it's kind of like the farm team for the TSX, but they call it Venture. That's the V. It's funny, when I first saw TSXV, I'm like, oh, does Vancouver have a version? But it's not. It stands for Venture. All right, so let's take a look here. So this here is the Lumen Group. And look at this growth. Look at this. This is fantastic. I love this. They're definitely going to be coming on the TSX sooner than later. Let's see what they do. So we pull this down here so we can sort of see here, and you'll see right here, TSX Venture Exchange. So that's the V part. All right. All right. So yeah, let's see, the prospects qualified. Okay. So they're, once again, another one of these companies that is associated with Constellation Software. So that all by itself is a recipe for success. Same idea with topicus.com, Lumine Group, same idea. So yeah, definitely a way to get exposure. Like, I think it's going to be hard for this company to fail. And even if we go into their key data here, let's see here. Now, we don't have anything here. And that happens sometimes with the V stuff, but that's fine. That is fine. All right, let's come back here. Cece says, can you make a playlist for your live videos? Um, I can. I'll tell you the only reason I didn't is because I know that you can, when you go into YouTube, you can click on live and it brings up all the live ones. But if you want me to just throw them all into a playlist, absolutely, I can definitely do that. I could probably split it into, oh, this would be kind of cool. I could do multiple playlists. I could have one for the market closes. I could have one for this week. Then I could have one for the old interview ones that I used to do before, that all turned into the into this week. So yeah, I can do that. I can do that absolutely. Yeah, give me a week or so, but I'll get that done for you. I like that idea. All right. GID says nice. I will be looking forward to that. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. I think we're at the end of another one. Um, Before we go though, we can't go yet. We can't go yet. I want to pull up our Discord. So we have our schedule on Discord. It helps if I'm actually on the right browser. Here we go. All right, I did delete everything underneath this. There was a whole bunch of conversation. So if you happen to be somebody who I deleted, it's just because I wanted to make this, talk on. You can talk on it all you want, but every so often I'll delete it just to make it easy to see what's going on. So here we go. Oh, let's let's get rid of this because we've already had the members choice video and I forgot to add the bonus one. So bad for me. Bad for me. There's probably 3 or 4 people that have missed this because I forgot to do that. So I apologize to you guys if you're watching it on the replay. All right. So coming up, this week's going to be a fun week. We got the 0 to 100K challenge. We got a bank review. So on this week, on the weekend, I'll give you guys an opportunity to add another live stream to another market close to the week. So that will be fun. Then, and this is beautiful. It just keeps on going. All right, I don't know why bank review is there. That is not, it will be a deep dive. Just change that back. But then we have the RESP video finally. So that will be coming. And then we'll be back to that. And then we'll be back to another list video by June because I've got a few great ideas. Holy banana bread. There's a lot that we want to do. But this is all looking up. We're going to have a pretty hot summer here. We're going to keep the summer going. A lot of channels in the finance sector will slow down in the summer. Not us, guys. We're going to keep our pedal to the metal and we'll keep going. We will keep going right through the summer. No slowing down, no stopping, content like crazy. We'll keep it up. So that's just the way this channel rolls. So, all right, let me, as we begin to end, let me just pull this all up. And thanks from CC for the, that's a great idea, CC. Thank you for the idea. I like it. And Mary says, thanks. And Prairie says, another fantastic live stream. This is the perfect one to end on. All right, guys. Thank you very, very, very much. You guys have had a fantastic, you guys have been a really good audience. And I can't wait to be doing this again. I can't wait to see you guys on the weekend, on Sunday. Have a fantastic weekend. Kick up, relax tomorrow. Have a great day. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye, everybody.